In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. Welcome back to my channel, Nadir Hussain AR. We have already covered integration of quality assuring tools, right? ESLint, TypeScript, Prettier, and we have also covered TypeScript in detail. The next natural step is styling the UI. I am not going to cover React and React Native along with each other. So if you are a mobile engineer and want to jump into the web development, then this is going to work for you. And if you are a web developer and want to know how things work in the React Native on the mobile side, then you are going to benefit from this video series as well. So the next natural step is styling the UI. When it comes to styling UI, we have to take some decisions before jumping to the coding. The number one is choosing styling library. We have to take decision whether we are going to use a library or not. And the next step is to configure global theme or central theme for our application. And the third one is crafting or building reusable common components so that we maintain consistency in our UI throughout the application. So as far as choosing styling library is concerned, we have to make a trade-off between two things, which is customization and speed of development. The first option that we have is that using plain CSS and CSS modules. If you have a web development background and you are coding from long time into HTML and CSS in the raw form, then you might be aware of them and be more familiar with these options, right? So in case of CSS modules or plain CSS, you have to define classes like this, styling classes. You have to specify each and everything yourself, what is going to be the border, and you have to specify colors in the hex form, in the raw form, right? So the benefit of this approach is that you can achieve any design whatever you want, right? However, its disadvantage is that it is going to slow your development, right, which matters especially in case of startups, right? And when you have to deliver the MVP, then your speed of development matters. You have to quickly ship and release the features. The next option that we have is Tailwind CSS. So Tailwind CSS is a basically set of predefined classes. So instead of using here, you can go to their official documentation, and the first you will see the configurations, right? Configuration steps, and here its use. So here if we see in the class name, we are seeing that font bold. So this is a predefined utility class. By just specifying font dash bold, the font is going to be bold. In plain CSS, we have to basically specify here the bold color. Instead of we have to specify ourselves, right? If we check another class, that is underline. So in case of plain CSS, you have to define the border or the something like that to underline it, underline a component. So the advantage of basically Tailwind CSS is that it basically is better in terms of speed of development as compared with the plain CSS, and you can still achieve the customization as well because you have multiple options to specify. However, if you are a mobile development background, especially from the React Native, right, or Jetpack Compose or similar things, then there is third option for us in the web as well, which is called CSS in JS. Basically using CSS directly into the JS components. This approach has benefit as well. You can basically mix logic into styling. There might be some styles that are dependent onto the some logic, runtime logic based on some variable, right? So this gives this benefit, and this basically is runtime styles. These are called runtime styles because they involve the JavaScript logic. So we have libraries available. The famous libraries are styled components, the basic library for this category. Then the other one is emotions. However, The most popular being used in the industry are Material UI and the Chakra UI. So let's check the Material UI. Here you see Material UI is an open source React component library that implements Google Material Design. So you have this option, as well as you have latest one is in this series is Chakra UI library. In this video series we are going to use this Chakra because this is going to easy to use and provides many built-in components, and we can quickly build the components and proceed with other advanced concepts, right? However, if you are more interested to explore these things, Tailwind or something, you may proceed with that option as well. However, in this video series we will proceed with the Chakra. As far as React Native, in React Native is concerned, you have similar library which is called React. You have basically more libraries, but React Native paper is I think more popular among all the options available. So here this provides customized buttons, text input and card options as well. So you can explore these libraries on your own and decide that which one to use. I am going to use Chakra because its implementation is going to look like similar what we have into the React Native structure. Okay, we are now done with the choosing styling of the library. The next step is that configure the theme. Configuring theme involves two steps. The number one thing is that you have to wrap root of your application with the provider. Provider is a component as well, and then provide your global theme to this provider. Global themes, basically maintaining global theme is important for the rebranding. So after a while, if you decide to rebrand your product or application, you can go and change the colors at one place, and throughout your application these colors will be changed. Rebranding becomes easy. So now let me show you the practical implementation of these steps. I had basically worked on this. Let me show you my store web application. So here, if we go here, this is the root of our application, right? This one, this is a app provider. No, this one, this is the root in the root provider, right? So our app provider, we have basically used here the Chakra provider, and it is coming from the Chakra UI library, and we are providing it a theme as well. And from where theme is coming, this is important. You can use whatever library you are using, or even your own custom provider. This structure is going to work similar. Whatever provider you are using, you are going to give them the theme object. From where this theme object is going to come, you have to define it into the configuration structure. So here in the theme, I have defined colors, primary color, and some global styles as well, right? Mainly the colors are important, right? So number one thing is you have configured your root provider with whatever provider you are using, and you have provided the theme as well, and you have defined themes globally into the configuration options. And the next step was that you have to define reusable common components. It again involves some steps. The number one thing is that you have to define wrapper over components provided by libraries. Why you have to define the wrapper? Because libraries are too generic, right? And they have multiple options. You have to reduce that overhead, and you have to basically define wrappers to adjust needs to your application, right? You have to then define prop types for these components. so that you need only those options which work for your application, right? You restrict the engineer to play with those options which are just relevant to your application. Okay, and you have to define variants as well. For example, button is a very common reusable component throughout the application. There are, however, there can be variants of the buttons as well. So here I am going to show you in the common components. I have defined a button, right? So first of all, it is a wrapper. If you check its definition, it is saying export const button and getting some props and then returning just chakra button with the properties, limited properties, restricted properties which are relevant to our application. Here this prop types is defined. We have discussed this type into the TypeScript. You can check the details into the TypeScript type versus interface as well. That video is relevant to it. So we are getting variant is loading, whether it is going to be as loading state, is disabled state, or whatever library basically requires from you. And we have defined variants, so that without defining variants, this custom component is going to become bulky. If you are going to directly make conditions inside this custom component, right, based on these params, this is going to become bulky and hard to understand. So define variants separately below it. So this variant is solid, this variant is outlined, right? And this is the way to define custom reusable components. So let's suppose if we run this application, here we go, here this is a button, click me button, right? And if we go and change the color, this color is going to, let's suppose, change automatically. See? So this is the advantage of evolving central theme, global themes. And similarly, this our button is being used. Let me check here. Here we have defined variant solid. If the other option we have is outline, it should give us the option outline. Yes. You see, its background has changed from solid to again if we do solid, then background solid. So I think you have now become familiar that how to choose styling library, what are the criteria for that, right? And then how to configure a theme provider, central theme, and then how to craft reusable components. In the next video, we are going to discuss the storybook topic, which is very important and very useful to enhance productivity of engineers. Thank you very much.